Hi everybody, how are you doing? Today I want to talk about risk in the mountains and how to manage that. I am very happy to promote to people to go to the mountains, because I believe that it's better for the health, like to do activity, to don't be sedentary. It's good to go to mountains because it's a beautiful experience, and it's also a way to understand the nature, to understand the environment, and to have some values that it's hard to get when you are in a more artificial environment. But we need to understand also that going to alpine terrain, going to some mountains, it's risk-taking. Like nobody is exempt of that risk, and we need to understand that and to feel confident with we are doing, and to really try to minimize this risk in function of our capacities and the conditions in the mountain. So actually I think I turn the 50% of the times when I'm in the mountains and I want to do something. The half of the times I'm just going there and I don't feel good, or I feel that it's not the day, or the conditions are not how I expected, so I go back home, and that's good. I think it's better to go home safe than to stay in the mountains in danger. So I will tell you a bit about how I managed to find the good analysis of I can do this or I cannot. So first is to understand that alpinism is activity that have risks, and that we cannot be completely safe out there. So first we need to understand the environment. We need to understand how are the mountains. Like every mountain is different, like the Alps, the Pyrenees, the Himalayas, the Andes, Scandinavian mountains. They have different environments, because the snow is different, because the temperatures are different, because the rock is different, the quality of the rock is different, the winds, the humidity. So first I think it's a process of taking the time of watching these mountains, watching the places where we are going, try to find information about that, and try to understand how the winds affect, how the rocks, if it's warm, why the rocks fall. So to have an overview of the mountains where we are going, to see where and to identify where are the possible risks. Second is to approach with humility. To approach with humility, I mean to don't overestimate our capacities. First, to identify our capacities, to see like technically how we can climb. If we climb like 5A or 6C or 8A, it will be different than our capacities in the mountains. To know like our knowledges in ice climbing, in endurance, like how many hours we can be moving, and how fast can we escape. So all our capacities will be important. Then our techniques, like which techniques we are able to do with ice axes, with ropes, how we can, if we know how to make belays in different kind of rock, in different places. And I think it's very important to train these capacities and techniques on like a safety environment, like in a climbing wall, in easy terrain, to be able to push our limits on the safety moments, to after go to the mountains and to have a big margin of the risk. The gear that we use, if we know how to use it, because a thing is like to have a backpack full of things then we don't know how to use, that's not worth it. So it's important to train with the gear, to train with the techniques, and to train with the capacities, and then like know our experience too. So to have the experience, we need to learn. We need to have a learning process. Because we do a lot of mistakes many times, and mostly when we are young, like we go sometimes there and we do mistakes because lack of experience, and that's good because it means like we are learning, and we are it's the mistakes that makes us realize many risks. But then it's the learning process that is important, and that it don't comes normally with us. It's a lot of places we can learn, like it's a lot in the net, like you can see some websites, you can see a lot of formations, but mostly is to have a mentor, to have someone that he have more experience and have more capacities than us, that we can trust on him and go to the mountains and learn how to to be on safety. And if we don't have this person, it's to hire a guide, to hire a mountain guide to do that. And then, and it's important, it's to do formation all the time. It's not because we have been doing every year or some years ago an avalanche course that we are safe on that. We need to do, I think, before every winter, like a course of like avalanche and layers and crevasse rescue, and before every summer, so spend some week just like retraining the manipulations on ropes and things in the mountains. So then is learning, and after that I think it's important to plan and adapt to the conditions in the mountain. When we are doing an activity, we need to plan where are we going, with who we are going, which gear are we taking, how is the weather prevision for these days, which route are we taking, which are the alternative roads, the roads to escape. So all these things that can make us to overview the mountain and how it can be, and then to adapt. When we are in the mountain, normally the plan it don't follows because someone is more tired or because like the conditions are not how we expected. So then it's to adapt on that, to see how we can escape from a place, to see how conditions are. If it's too warm, maybe it's more rock fallings. If it's sunny, it can be the snow soft and more avalanche. So we need to adapt and not be afraid of turn around. Like, it's important to say, okay, it's not how I expected, I turn around and I can do another thing and I will be happy, I will be doing a nice activity in the mountain. And mountains don't move, they will be there, so we can come back when we are ready. Like, if we don't feel prepared for it, I think it's better to just go home, train harder, prepare myself better, and then like when I feel ready and I have the capacities for doing, to come back to the mountain. And finally is to accept, okay, conditions of the mountain are that, my capacities and experience is this, and the risk I'm in front is acceptable or not. Like, we need to understand that every person is different on capacities. Like, I can see Alex climbing El Cap in solo, but I would never go there because I don't have the technical capacities and the physical strength to do that. So it's just going to death. So we need to understand like the capacities that we have, the experience, and then like which risk we want to accept. I believe that for some alpinist activities, we need to take a lot of risks because it's the only way. Like, you see some roads, mostly in Himalayas, that go in really exposed places, and that's risk taking. And I would say that some alpinists in a lifetime, they will say like 1 or 2 times in their life that they has been taking big risks. Like, they were thinking, I don't know if I can come back from there alive, and that's a choice. And I mean, are you ready to accept it? Are you ready to accept to do an activity knowing that you put your life in risk? So it's always that you need to, before every activity, saying, okay, I am able to do that, I have the capacities, I have a margin for the risk in the mountain. And then when you see that, accept it and go it, or go home and train harder and go back. I think the most important in the mountains is to have fun, and to have fun, I think, it's to be in places that it challenge yourself, but mostly like we feel confident and we feel like we can enjoy it. So that was for today. I hope you have a good week, and see you soon in some mountains.